Well, hello, and a very warm welcome back to the Andrew Eborn Show with me, Andrew Eborn, where we uncover the stories behind the world's most influential visionaries. Today, I'm absolutely thrilled to have Arny Granat, who's a legend in live entertainment. As a 10-time Tony Award-winning Broadway producer and co-founder of Jam Productions, Arny has brought icons like Frank Sinatra, Madonna, the Rolling Stones, and U2 to stages worldwide, whilst producing unforgettable theatre like The Band's Visit, The Ferryman Once, and the 30th anniversary revival of Glengarry, Glen Ross, easy for some to say, starring Al Pacino. From founding Grand Slum Productions to producing events like Nick Wallenda's Chicago River Tightrope Walk and co-producing David Blaine presents Assy Wynn's Inner Circle, Arny's passion and innovation continue to inspire. He's married to the fabulous Irene Michaels, who's been a guest on this very show. His personal and professional journey is one for the ages, and I'm absolutely thrilled. Arny, welcome to the Andrew Eborn Show.
All right, how are you? I have a question for you.
Go for it.
Who's your dentist? You have great teeth.
Oh, well, thank you. It's a great question. There we are. Answers on a postcard. It's going to be. You've got great teeth. You've got a great background. Last time when Irene was on the show, she showed me your cat kept on popping up as well. Not making an appearance today?
No, cat. No, not today. No.
Well, what a shame. What a shame. We love that sort of show. Well, listen, they always say, look, show me a child till the age of 7 and I'll show you the man. What do you remember of your childhood?
My memories aren't that great. I'm not one of those who doesn't have a great memory, but I have a memory that was an epiphany for me at the age of 12 when I had a major surgery and I was in bed for 8 months. And you didn't ask me this question. I didn't know you were going to ask this, but you're asking it, so I'm going to explain. I had an illness and I had an incident where I walked into a room of people, youngsters all in the 8th grade, and they were all looking at me because I had been in a surgery and out of circulation for a year. And the first thing that happened is I did not like the focus on me,
Right.
but I loved the power of the focus. I love the feeling of the power of that, so that I thought if I can make people look where I want to like that, I just felt they can decide what they want, but if I can make them look there, that's a good thing for me. And that's what I remember.
So a happy childhood. A lot of people say sometimes artists need to struggle a bit to get that creative juices going, but you had a happy childhood.
Cool. It was very nice. I was very, 4 brothers and sisters. I had a good one. I can't complain. Who's going to listen?
Well, I'll listen to you. Now that you said I've got great teeth, that's got to be good. So, what do you remember your first memory in terms of the entertainment industry? Was there a particular music that inspired you? Was it a particular feature film?
No, not particularly. I'm a child of the 60s. So that was, in those days, music was a way of life. Today, it is not a way of life. Back then,
Yeah.
it was life. And going to college, and I did not go to any major concerts, and I wasn't really a big concert goer, but I came to Chicago from Michigan State University and started as a security guard at a very well-known rock and roll hall in Chicago called the Aragon Ballroom, much like the Fillmore East in New York.
Right.
And it just happened. I made a right turn instead of a left turn at the light. That was it.
Yeah. And it's so interesting, those sort of sliding doors moments, isn't it, when people start? And I understand that the very first act that you managed was the human jukebox. Tell me about that.
His name was Jerry Grossman, and it was when the folk scene was big. And I was booking and managing him, and he wasn't a folk singer, but Bonnie Kolak, uh, John Prine, all those people were around then. And I had this guy in long hair, rock and roll, and he could play any song. People would yell out songs, and he'd play part of it and then joke and talk and play half break strings. And hey, let's say he was feeling no pain most of the time also. So I made him the human jukebox.
What's the song that you would shout out for him to sing?
Any song you wanted, he Anything. It did not matter.
It's a great idea. I love the idea that this is your new sort of Shazam, your new sort of Apple playlist. You get a human one. I think that'd be really good. Now, look, you've been in the entertainment industry. You probably know for over 50 years. You don't look like it, and your wife looks even younger, glorious on that sort of basis. What's one secret about the music or theatre world, or even your journey during this wonderful career that you've never shared publicly before?
That's a great question. Um, I don't know how much of a secret is. It's pretty common sense. Is you hear it a lot with people. Is to follow your instincts and your gut. I was one of the few people who did not sell to Live Nation in the United States. Remember that was we were the largest, my partner and I, independent promoters that did not sell. So I was either the smartest or the dumbest. I can't tell you right now. But one of the reasons was is that I didn't have to look in the mirror and see somebody behind me telling me you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to make 15% profit or something, because I think it killed my creativity at that point. So I say follow your heart and don't worry about what you like. If I promoted what I liked, I would never have been successful.
Yeah, and I have to say, Arny, you're absolutely right. I know many people who've been terribly successful in business, made an absolute fortune, and they've been approached and they've sold out to these global gorillas, and they've been miserable because it's their baby.
Mhm. Yeah, well, in the late 60s, early 70s, the concert business came into fruition. And there was a gentleman named Frank Barcelona who started an agency called Premier Talent in New York. And he was signing all the English acts.
Yes, quite right too.
And every promoter in the United States that knew people, young people who are now my age, um, had a city. It was sort of like the mob without violence. We all had up territory, no violence.
Good.
And we were lucky to get Chicago because we lived here. So, and it was you respected the other person's territory, meaning I didn't go to St. Louis. This guy from St. Louis didn't come here, and it was um, it was honor among thieves, maybe, and I don't mean thieves in a bad way.
Yeah, no, so what's the most controversial opinion you hold about the entertainment industry that might even outrage your fans or peers?
I think, well, I don't know about, I think everybody feels this way. The freaking ticket prices are too
Yeah.
high. That's it. I mean, I don't do many shows anymore like that because it's gotten ridiculous, and the fees and the cost of, first of all, everything's higher. So you go to a show that maybe in the old times, from I'm talking about the early days, but I'm saying, from 100 or 150, which was high at one point, to now 300, 400, 500. Go online and you buy secondary tickets at 1,000. And you can only go to so many shows. Most people can only go. So instead of 5 shows, they may go to 1 or 2 shows. So I think that hurts the industry and it bastardizes it.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, Harvey Goldsmith is a neighbour and a friend, and it's often
Hey,
the thing that he talks about. And I've just come back from the Edinburgh Fringe and the TV festival up there, where and there were over 2,000 shows. How on earth people do that? But Edinburgh's crazily expensive. You had to sell your firstborn child just to get a hotel room.
what did you get a hotel room?
Oh, well, yeah, I was lucky. I was spoiled. I was working with the wonderful BAFTA award-winning artist Alison Jackson, who basically she creates these lookalikes. She uses lookalikes to create scenes that people only imagine. So Donald Trump's one of her poster boys, I think, in uncompromising positions. But so she's a glorious artist, and I was helping her produce and direct and write and promote, which you have to do the shows down there. So, but it was a wonderful experience. I just felt so sorry though for the artists, most of whom, I mean, it's basically a showcase, if you like, if you can use that as an opportunity. But people who go there hoping that they're going to make a lot of money, sadly go home with quite disappointed.
Edinburgh, to me, I believe is really a fascinating experience. And as you're right, these are unknown talents, most of them, and some rise to the top, but some never see the light of day as far as financial success, not artistic success.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, some are terrifically talented, and most are direly delusional. I think is is the reality.
I saw the first, and I'll tell you, remember, I remember the soap store Lush.
Of course.
Well, they didn't have them in the United States then. And when I saw one, I went, "Oh, I should get one of these in the United States." Of course, they were planning it, and they're all over the place now. But yeah,
Yeah.
Edinburgh was cool. They had cool castles too.
Oh, fantastic castle. It'd be lovely when it's finished. It's gonna be good.
Where do you live now?
I live in Regent's Park, so just in the heart of London, third bench on the left.
Cool. You know what? I used to didn't like London. I love London now. I think it's so very, very interesting. The food got much better there.
Oh, I tell you, we have more Michelin star restaurants now in London than they do in Paris.
Yeah, I like it a lot. And I had a show in London, and this is going to be something dear to your heart. I do not know if you know this or not,
Yeah.
but I heard that you like magic.
I am a member of the Magic Circle, an award-winning magician. Who isn't award-winning? But I actually want alternative art. So absolutely, I know you did Assy Wynn's thing, didn't you? And
I
with
see.
David Blaine, I know all about you, Arnie.
Well, don't tell anybody. Anyway, Ozzy Wynn is a project of mine I started about 5 years ago, and
Yeah,
he's marvelous. He's, uh, as you know, as a magician, and I have also practiced magic since I was 12.
yeah.
So he is right up there as one of the best card close-up manipulators in the world, I think. And he's brilliant. I don't know if you got to see him, but he's going to come. He's going to be playing start in LA next year,
Oh,
and then
fantastic.
New York.
No,
Fall.
I've been. I'm a member of the Magic Circle, a member of the inner Magic Circle with gold stars. They do these things. So no, I've seen Assy perform. It's fantastic. I love it. And David Blaine himself. I mean, he basically revolutionized, brought magic screaming and kicking and screaming into the 21st century. So we love all of that. So can you do something? Can you do something? Is there something you can show us? You
Well,
do
at
you
the
magic
end
yourself?
at the end of the talk, I'll disappear. That's about the best I can do.
It's got to be. Well, look, you've achieved so much from your 10 Tony Awards to promoting 100,000 events, must be still counting. What's the biggest mistake you've made in your career, and what did it teach you about life or success?
Probably saying no when I should have said yes, and saying yes when I should have said no. And that's an ongoing process. And I can't tell you one specific because I've done both many times. But the only thing you can do from it, and you know this, and again, common sense, you just got to get up and learn to go with the flow. And it's always easier to go in the direction that the horse is already headed.
Yeah, no, you're so, and I often talk about this. So many people talk about success, but very rarely about the failure that led to that success. I even produced a book, a shameless plug. There we go, Andrew Eborn's Book of Failure, and we look at failures throughout history. And it's a TV show that we've done as well, and various other things. But you need to do that. We need to be. Don't be ashamed of your mistakes. You've got to embrace them, don't you?
No, and one of the, have you ever heard, I'm going to throw something at you, okay? You may, but when I was first approached with a show, and I've done a lot of different shows, a lot of
Yes.
shows. I hope I can say this. It was a show called Puppetry of the Penis.
Yes, I was talking about it with very recently.
When I was told about this and told what it was, which I won't say, but what it was, I went, "Are you kidding me?" And then I ended up promoting it, and it was doing so well, we had to add weeks. So you know what I put in the ad?
Go on then.
Puppetry of the Penis extended 8 weeks.
I love it. It's brilliant. Well, they had a number of those sort of shows. It seemed, and the thing is now, though, audiences don't really get shocked anymore, do they?
No, they've seen so much. I mean, how do you not? You push the wrong button and you're somewhere you shouldn't be, I think, sometimes, you know.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. There was certainly a lot of that sort of side, and I saw some brilliant shows there. Well, I saw the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I guess my Edinburgh show was complete. A bingo card, they would call it.
What was your favorite show in Edinburgh?
Oh, probably the one I was working on because I produced it and directed and helped Alison Jackson. So that was fantastic. There were some great comedy ones. There was some really emotional ones as well. I mean, what I love about, well, you know, it's like in the same way as I like to eat, I like to snack or graze. So you have little bits. I do a lot of work in Japan, and so they have lots of little bits and pieces. That's what you can do in Edinburgh because each show's less than an hour, so you can do thousands of them. Well, not thousands because there are over 2,000, but you do several in one day. The thing is, obviously, with the show that I was up there with, that took a lot of my time, and I was on telly a lot doing other stuff as well. But the joy of it was fantastic, and I have a lot of admiration for people who go out there and try it. I certainly recommend it to people, but it's not for the faint-hearted. I think that's a fair comment, isn't it?
Well, listen, you got to throw throw it on the wall and see what sticks. I think that's the
Yeah,
best.
yeah. Yeah, so well, they certainly did a lot of that with half a rainforest of leaflets. That's good. So from producing the first Farm Aid to Nick Wallendo's Chicago River tightrope walk, what's been the most intense or surreal moment of your career that still gives you chills to think about?
I think there's more than that, but I don't think I have one real intense thing that stands out for me because there's a multitude of tense things. Uh, and as you know, producing a show like you did and have done, it's like every moment's intense. It's just how you handle it, and deal with the situation. From uh, we've had deaths, we've had births at shows. I've had three people thought they could fly during concerts. They could not. But
Cool.
that did happen. Yeah, I know, but it did happen. You asked, that was intense.
Yeah,
And the best thing about what we do or what I do is all I'm doing is the presenter. It's the if somebody goes on stage and does a lousy show, they'll say, "Why did you put that show on?" Well, I thought it was a good thing. You're here. I mean, we sold out, but maybe they didn't do such a good show. Talk to the artist. Unfortunately. But I don't think I have one intense moment. But when you do present a show that does over 100,000 people,
yeah,
and that's regular, that's very irregular.
yeah,
So
yes.
yes, it might be intense, but I keep it inside mostly probably and learn to deal with that accordingly and not show as much emotion as probably I'm feeling.
Well, it is interesting, isn't it? I mean, as I say, I speak to lots of big producers, lots of famous artists. You're performing, and it's like a drug, isn't it? They're addicted when they're on stage and you're performing to 100,000 people or whatever it happens to be, or television to several million. I had Howard Bloom on the show beforehand, who you probably know very well, a great PR man, and he would say that he would always advise the artist so they don't get depressed because that's what they do when they come off stage. I always think of the next thing. How do you manage artists and the sort of roller coaster ride that is the entertainment world?
Well, two words you learn very early in my line of work, and maybe every line of work, and those words are no problem. You know, oh, I'd like to have a helicopter fly me in 10 minutes into the stadium. No problem. You have no idea, but you go still no problem. And I have stories I could tell you, but not on the air
Oh, is
about.
that what we'll get you back to tell me those? I'll be coming soon. But I Mondai Nai, as they say in Japan, no problem is a great phrase until it is a problem and you don't deliver. Have you had one of those?
Oh yeah, sure. We've had our yeah, hour before showtime, the stage blows down with 20,000 people. Axl Rose getting on a plane, leaving before a show happens. With 15,000 people going to the show, and he takes off. And uh, there's so many. I can't think of them right now, but I guess if I did, I might even get a small migraine. I just
Oh, no.
can't.
So how do you cope yourself though? Because you've obviously got a fantastic attitude. Is that the secret to staying calm yourself, or are you like the duck who's sort of paddling furiously beneath the water?
No, no, I'm not like that. I've been doing it since I was 22.
Right.
How do you get up and smile like you do and do your thing? It's just because it's what you do, and I call it, when if you haven't been feeling well and you go out in public and people are expecting you to look bad because you've been ill, you turn on a button,
Yeah.
and that button flips on and you become whatever you have to be at that moment.
Yeah.
Then you go back afterwards and go into your shell. But for that moment, and performers are like that a lot. I've seen performers, you experience that, who get nervous, throw up before shows. Some
Yeah.
do things they shouldn't be doing before shows, some everybody reacts differently to the pressure,
Yeah.
and you see it. And artists especially are used to having the word yes said to them.
Yeah, no problem. Absolutely. I mean,
And then if someone says no, they just find someone who will say yes.
yeah, just say yes to everything. I think it's the easy way. Yes. Now, what's the question?
Now, unfortunately, in the position me or my fellow promoters and producers, we have to say no sometimes. Where there's somebody who has to say no, it's very difficult to do that to high-powered and high visibly well-known people to say, no, you're not going to do that. You can't go and do that on
And
stage.
And I think in a way, Arnie, as well, sometimes it's more refreshing to hear a no than a yes that isn't delivered.
All depends on the person you're talking to, how they take it. Some people can't take the criticism, but if a show's not good, it's not good.
Yeah.
If you go on Broadway and the person comes to your show, people come out of a show and you go, "How'd you like the show?" And they go, "The music wasn't." I said, "I'm screwed." They got to say 5 words. You've got to see it.
Yeah,
If they say that you really-
absolutely, and that's the problem because a lot of people make the mistake of surrounding themselves with yes men, if you like, people who pander to their own delusional misunderstanding about themselves, and that's got to be wrong, hasn't it?
Yes, absolutely. If you're putting a lot of money into a show, I've had shows that should have closed at intermission. I mean, that
Which
happened.
was that show? Which show was that?
I ain't going there. Um, but there was a show. It was based on the Honeymooners. And whatever. It was a terrible show. But I've had great shows that got great reviews and did not make it, and shows that didn't get such great reviews on Broadway and did make it. I did do something that I thought was interesting. Now that you bring up something that stands out in my mind. Do you remember the body exhibits where the
Oh
body
no, fantastic! I love those. Brilliant stuff. That was you, wasn't it? Yeah.
I was one of the people who did it with my partner Michael Cole, and um, it was a different type of thing, an exhibit with body parts. And where do we get the body parts? Well, and this and that, and it was very big news, but that was half of the selling point.
Yeah.
It was an amazing experience going to see body parts.
I know, but people love it. It's trying to do something different. You got is it still running in Vegas?
No, I did it in Vegas.
Right. Okay.
And that with the Titanic, I think, exhibit we did them
Right.
back. No, but that lasted a long time. It was a public company out of Georgia, and then they changed, and we were no longer involved. And then there was a brilliant light show, and you know about it in London. The light show at the oh wow, it's all over the place. It's a big bright light show, and it's
Yes.
a castle, and it's
Yeah.
all over London. We did it in the United States called Lightscape here,
Yes. No. Fantastic.
we did that in the United States.
And it's really good because you're pushing the boundaries on that. So I mean, one of your first television things, I think, was a talk show with Talk to Mr. Psychic. How did that come about?
I just come back from college, and I'd started, and I was a gopher on a TV show, and guy was going to do a show on chess. In those days, there was no cable,
Right.
so it was just 4 or 5 stations, and one of the smaller stations called me and said they were looking for a producer for a show called Talk to Mr. Psychic. It had one camera, so I mean, it was very easy to direct. Zoom in, zoom out.
Right.
One
Right.
camera, but. And I went and met the guy, and since I was into magic and all this other stuff and hypnotism, and that I found him fascinating, and it was he would wear an earpiece, and I would tell him, "Oh,
You
Joe."
can't give away the secrets.
I didn't say I would say Joe's calling. I didn't say
Oh.
what you assumed that because you know the truth. So
Hey.
the bottom line is that was interesting, but you know, it's you don't know what the people out there are going to like and not like. And today, the the ability for a performer or someone who has artistic uh, proclivity, and they go out, and in our day when we were growing up, and I'm not saying one's better than the other. What I'm
Yeah.
saying is they had a lot of work that they could pull from to go out and do a 2 3 hour show.
Right.
Springsteen's, the Billy Joels, the Police. I mean, in those days, they could only play 3 hours. Today's acts, I don't know if they can all play 2 3 hours. There's a lot of them that can. A lot of them just have that little phone and they got 2 3 songs, but they
Yeah.
don't have an hour and a half of material.
No, you're absolutely right. It's that longevity for artists, and what they have now, nostalgia ain't what it used to be. But if you get things like the '80s shows, the rewind shows, where you might have artists who had one or two hits, they can come out and do those one or two hits, and then people are going back to your human jukebox, if you like. You get your real jukebox on stage, and you get to hear all your hits.
Absolutely. And they're I don't care if it's the Beach Boys, if
Yeah.
it's Billy Joel, whoever it is, they it resonates. As I said, it was a way of life. So it's not something that just, oh, I heard a song, I liked it. It was a way of life.
Yeah. And
So
what I yeah, you're absolutely right. And what I love about it, these are the soundtracks to people's lives. You know, the Beach Boys. I had Steve Levine who produced the amazing Beach Boys album. I don't know if you know Steve, but talking about that, and sadly, obviously, a day or so afterwards, he had Brian passed and things like that. So you have to sort of treasure those moments, and people who've got the soundtracks, like the Bee Gees, so very closely connected with R.J. Gibb, who's the son of Robin, and you see this sort of wonderful legacy, the power of music. But you're right. Nowadays, you don't really see the same sort of acts coming about. Why do you think that is?
well, I think that our attention span and the volume of stuff that is thrown at us
Yeah,
daily, it's like see it next. And when you see it for 1 second, you only got to grab that 1 or 2 seconds to make people maybe go bite
right.
the apple. But you've got to get that 1 or 2 seconds, and you're competing with hundreds of thousands of items coming to you on this internet and on this TV right now that we're talking on this medium. And with AI, forget about it. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's I don't think well, we'll always see the beginning of it most likely, but I
No,
think
again, you're absolutely right. I mean, I always say when the smarter our devices get, the more dumb we get.
absolutely. And and the kids today, I have no children, but and I don't know if you have children or not, but
Yes, best
but
productions ever.
and just imagine what these kids coming born right now. I don't know if I could handle. I'm not a parent, but being a parent and you have children, I don't. What would it be like to deal with that now? Even though I just don't understand it.
It is, and with however much more means of communication, the less we're able to communicate. And the very fact is, the first thing most people touch in the morning and the last thing they touch at night is not their significant other. It's this, isn't it?
It is, and the input that we get from that, and the ability. What's that one now? Chat box. You ever
Oh
heard of that?
yes,
You go on and ask them any question in the world, they give you answers. I mean, it's like I don't know if they're right or not, but my God, it's like having your own personal aide
Oh,
24.
and that's the big thing. I have Errol Musk on my show all the time. He's Elon's dad, and he's on all the time. And that's what they're saying. The biggest thing in the future is going to be about companionship with AI, because lots of people getting older and older, they're getting lonelier and lonelier. But these wonderful AI and these robotics, they can now look and feel, and they can get better and better. They understand you more than your own mother would have done on that sort of basis. So there's all sorts of relationships. Now, talking about relationships, I mean, I talked about Irene Michaels earlier. I understand that Frank Sinatra introduced you.
Yes, in a roundabout way, he did. I was promoting Frank Sinatra at a Aurora in outside of Illinois casino, and I have no idea what year it was. And afterwards, after the show, in those days, I used to hang out with the groups and go to dinner with them. And he came in with his troupe, and let's just say it was a unique troupe. I'll just leave it there. And one of the people in that troupe was a guy named Gilly Rizzo, who was Frank's guy, his right-hand man. And my wife today, Irene, was a friend of his, and she was there, but nothing came of it. It just I didn't want to mess with anybody because the crowd was what it was, and I just
A typical Chicago crowd, is that what you're saying?
well, yeah, I didn't want to. I didn't want to get hurt. So, and about X amount of years went by, and we met again when I was being divorced, and I met Irene again, and I met her, and she was beautiful inside and outside. She really, truly is. And so I can wake her at 3 in the morning, and she still's nice, and that's priceless.
Oh no, absolutely. Well, I was shocked. I mean, you must hear this all the time. I was shocked you never ask a lady her age, but hearing that, I mean, she's looks at least 25 years younger, doesn't she?
I know that it's hard for me.
So tell me then, because they always say behind every great man there is a great woman, and vice versa. I mean, now she's phenomenally successful in her own right. How does your partnership with Irene influence your own personal and professional life?
Well, I think she'd like it to be even more, and I can give her extreme credit not only for her age, but her persistence, and she just doesn't give up. You talk about someone, throwing stuff against the wall. This woman just doesn't stop, and I give her total credit. And years ago, I told her to go after the a different marketplace, and with her age, sort of like Bette Midler did with
Yes.
the certain aspect of the audience, and also house music. So she started saying, "I'm 80 years old." Oh, she's
I know.
about, but she said it in her book. I'm sorry, Irene, but she started going after house music, and she got hits on it. It was crazy and playing for. She'll get up. If I say get on the table and dance at the restaurant, she would. She just has no inhibitions.
Yeah.
I can't even get close to that. So I help her all I can and try not get in the way, yet still be in the way.
Yeah. And do you collaborate creatively as well?
Yes, but I gotta give her, she does 75% of it all. She really does. Um, I just tell her if I like it or not, more or less, and direct her if I don't think something's there, and she works on it. But it's we get along great, so that's good. And I learned we do not live together. We're
Right.
married, but we live together, and I think that's been great for us also. But we were not young kids when we got married, and um, I think there's something to be said about space.
Yeah, people need their space, and it's okay. People have to say that in relationships you must never argue. I think you must argue because then that's the way you do. Otherwise, you're a pressure cooker, aren't you?
Exactly. Exactly. And when you've talked to a lot of creative people, and there's difference between creative and visionaries and people who see into the future. I know that we all have a gift. All of us have a gift. If I said yours, that you're probably a gift of gab and your personality or something that you have. And I have been fortunate to know my gift at an early age was knowing what people want before it exists.
Right.
And so it's just something that I have now. Like some people have great this or that, you know. And I think that that's been fortunate, especially if you like to believe in visions. And
Oh
then
no, absolutely. So if you could go back over this wonderful career and give advice to your younger self, you're just starting out in the arrogant ballroom. What one piece of advice that would have changed everything? What would that be?
um, listen, it sounds almost like something you've heard before, but it is. But follow your heart. That's it. I mean, you can't go wrong doing that. You might not make, not everything's based on financials. When you lose money, you do win something. You win experience. So I know that I've been almost bankrupt one time, and it just, if someone asked me if I ever get scared, because basically I'm a professional gambler. Most producers and promoters are professional gamblers.
Yeah.
And was I ever scared? I'd say, yeah, when I offered an artist $5 million and I didn't have it. And I confirmed the show. And I went, and the show worked. I won't tell you the name of the show, but it's a huge artist. And I didn't have the money, but I said, oh, yeah, no, no, no problem.
But that's the difficult. I mean, as you said beforehand, that's the one phrase they want to hear. Yeah, yeah, well, yeah, no problem. Yes, and there is that, and a lot of promoters and others in your position, they have gone belly up as a result of it.
Yeah, cojones. You need to have a strong constitution. And I'll tell you, I honestly don't worry much day to day on losing or winning on a particular show because if you're doing, listen, you're going to have 10% dumb winners, 10% dumb losers.
Yeah.
80% in the middle, you have to win 60% of the time, and you'll be a winner.
Right, right.
But
Are you a
before
gambling man apart from the in business? You like Vegas, so you make all the money on the body show and go and put it on roulette. What do you play?
blackjack, roulette, and any two ants crossing the room, I'll
Okay.
buy that.
So I like craps. I think the odds on craps with the dice are the best, and it's a very interactive game. I like that.
But, we all have our thing. I don't like my back. I can't stand. That's why I don't play that.
Oh, so well, you can sit down. Is
Oh,
it?
it's the only
No, well,
reason.
that's the next big thing. Play crap sitting down. There we go. We can get that going.
That's the new invention. You know,
Absolutely.
and I think that there is a difference, and we always say, our generation, next generation, we all end up being what we didn't want our parents to be, and et cetera, and we become that, I believe.
Yeah.
And, so there's no definition that means that our music or our lifestyles are better than theirs, whatever. And You just have to know what do you want to hear and what do they want to see,
Yeah.
and you try and give it to them, and then they're the judge of it eventually, not me, not you. Well, you too could, but they're the judge of it. Your show you're putting on right now, all you can do is put the show on and pray that it happens. I was a huge Christian promoter. I'm Jewish,
Right.
huge Christian promoter back in the day, and something happened that made me that put me in that position. It was that there was a manager of a huge Christian act back then, would sell out 10,000 seats. And I found out the deals. I had hired a Christian promoter to be work with me because I wanted to go in that field because I thought they were nicer. I mean, the people were nicer. And, and so I called up the manager of this group and I heard the deals that were being cut for Christian acts by these Christian promoters.
Yes.
I called this manager and went, "I am Arny Granat. Listen, I just want to tell you that I'd like you to promote your shows." He says, "Why?" I said, "Because I'll screw you, but I won't screw you as much as the Christian promoters." And
So how much were they getting, the Christian promoters?
it was the deal itself overall was not fair, and it was
What
just
was it?
it was they were just different. They were just, let's just say what you shared in the back end was not what it should have been. You could have given the act more.
You're not going
Now,
to give me a figure.
no, no,
Okay.
no.
Oh, okay. We'll find out.
Most acts nowadays, the bigger acts, when you put a huge act on, if you don't
Yeah.
sell that big act out and you got 50, 60,000 seats, if you don't sell that or 90% of it in the first 24 to 48 hours, you better call the bank.
Yeah, it's a worrying moment. Fine, it's been such a delight having you on. I know you've been going backwards and forwards, and I've been traveling around, and we've got time zone differences. But I'm so thrilled that we did it. So finally for today, I do want to get you back. I hope you will come back on the Andrew Eborn Show.
Yeah,
But to finish on Arnie, then, how would you like to be remembered?
um, fair, tough, and that I did it with a heart.
It's a lovely memory. I did it with heart. You've got to do that. We certainly did it with heart today. I'm so thrilled to have had you on the show. I look forward to joining you. I hope you having coming back on the show very very soon. But for now, Arnie Granat, thank you very much for joining me.
And don't forget to send me the dentist's name.
I will do the usual commission. It's got to be good. The tooth, the whole tooth, and nothing but the tooth.
No problem.
Take care. Thanks, Arnie.